No way! Snoopy's going to the moon? Hi everyone. Just doing a little research here, getting ready for my next big lecture. Well, welcome to Sketch School. My name is Noel and I'm going to be your art teacher in just a few moments. I'm going to show you how to draw your very own portrait of the world's most lovable blockhead, Charlie Brown. Now the beauty of doing these on a video, if you feel a little confused at any moment, or if you think I'm drawing too fast and you miss a step, you can always pause it, back up, watch a step again, or you can just freeze frame the image altogether and draw right off the screen. A lot of advantages to drawing this way. Now, also the other thing I recommend you do, get a couple of other people with you to draw. It's always a wonderful thing in our parks when we do these sketch school classes. At the end of class, everyone holds up their drawings and you get to see how everyone else did. It's wonderful to share your artwork. Now, for today's project, you're going to need some simple art supplies that you have probably laying around your house. First, you're going to need a pencil. Nice soft lead is what I recommend. But you can also use a marker, a pen, or a crayon, whatever you have. What you won't need is an eraser. We're going to be doing what's called a rough sketch. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. And the last thing you're going to need is a sheet of paper. Grab a sheet of paper right out of your computer or your computer's printer. That works perfect. I think that's about it. Pencils up, everyone. It's cartoon time. All right, how to draw Charlie Brown, step number 1. In the middle of your paper, gang, lightly, and that's the key word here, keep this light, lightly sketch in a circle that's about as big as an orange. Now I got a few tips. The big one is you're not writing the letter O as much as we're building a circle. In fact, if you look at the screen, all I'm doing is drawing curved lines. Every time I hit this page, I'm putting down a curve. Curved line, curved line. Then I'm blending these together to sculpt and shape this into the circle. The real trick is keeping it light. And whatever you do, don't stress out and try and make this thing perfect. Just have fun with this. All right, we got something round. Looks like an orange, looks like a baseball. Ready for step number 2. At the top of the head, which will be here, and the bottom here, I'm going to make 2 little marks because we're going to add a few guidelines. These are going to help us a lot in just a moment. First guideline we call the center line. Now really keep these light. Charlie Brown doesn't really have these lines running across his face. I'm going to add another one that goes right to left. Pretty much what I'm doing, gang, I'm drawing a big old plus sign right in the middle of my shape. That shows me the center of it. Boop. And that is where his nose is going to go. By the way, I promise this is totally not going to get any harder. Next step, we're going to add the nose. Now, the nose is just a letter C. And depending on which way you point this, that's the direction he's going to look. I'm going to have my Charlie Brown looking that way. Now, like I mentioned, the letter C sits right here on the center. Nice and round, bring this out. Charlie Brown, you blockhead. I always wondered why they called him a blockhead. I've never seen a person with a rounder head in all my life. Here we go. Old Charlie Brown nose. So now you got a circle with a cute nose sitting on it. Next step, we're going to add the ears. Now on all Peanuts characters, this is a little trick to get them in the right spot. The bottom of the nose will always line up perfectly with the top of the ear. So just come right over to the side here and snap on a letter C. These go outside the main shape. You could think of this like a little handle on a coffee cup. There's one of his ears over here. Let's go over this side, do the same thing on this side. There we go. See, that lines up perfectly with the bottom of your nose. Or the bottom of Charlie Brown's nose. So we got a nose and 2 ears on our cute circle. Does it look like Charlie Brown yet? Not quite. We're getting there. All right, next step. We're going to wake him up. Now this is true of all Peanuts characters too. The eyes always sit on either side of the nose, just below the top of it. Here and here. This is true of all Peanuts characters except Snoopy, who's got that big snout. Now those are just little dots. His eyes are actually small circles. The real deal here, gang, treat these like a shape. They're not just a dot. In my opinion, the most important part of a comic strip character are the eyes. People always look into each other's eyes when they communicate with each other, and they do the same when they're reading the funny pages or watching a piece of animation up on screen. Take just a moment and really color these in dark. You can get your darkest lines by pressing down a little harder with the pencil. Huh? We woke him up. He's looking at you. All right, now, directly above the eyes, that's where the eyebrows go. I'm gonna have these perked up a little bit. He's surprised so many people logged into the internet to see him. Whoa, I can't believe I had this many friends. There we go. The trick with eyebrows, gang, you always want them directly above the eye. If they drift off to the side a little bit, they'll look more like forehead wrinkles. Now, before we add that signature hairstyle and his big smile, I'm going to take just a moment and darken in the circle. When I was an animator, we used to call this locking in the shape. The thing I want you to notice here, I'm not writing one line to do this. If you check this out, I'm building a line. See, very lightly, just going over it nice and round. The comic strip Peanuts debuted way back in October of the year 1950, and it ran all the way through February of the year 2000. That's a 50-year run. Peanuts have also been stars of several TV specials, feature films, a mountain of amazing merchandise, and you can meet them at our Cedar Fair parks. Oh yeah, you can get right up close and personal. There is nothing in the world that compares to a hug from Snoopy. How you guys doing out there? Having fun? Is it stressful? Is it hard? I promise, the more you do this, the easier this will get. Drawing is all about practice. Find whatever it is that you like, practice a lot of it. Heck, someday you might be able to make money at it. There we go. Good old Charlie Brown. Now for his smile. Or you could draw the mouth any way you like. Here's where the mouth goes. The bottom of the ears, boop, boop. And give myself another quick little guideline here. Guidelines are the cartoonist's best friend. There we go. His mouth, the sides of it are always just a little bit wider than the outside of the eyes. On a real person, the center of the eye always lines up with the corner of the mouth, but on a Peanuts character, just a little wider. Now you could draw his mouth open. You can give him a big old frown like he's kind of depressed. A straight line's a neutral mouth. As for me, I'm going to give him a smile. Now when you smile, gang, you get these little creases in the corners of your mouth. These little C-curves. Artists call these smile lines. In fact, they're kind of like eyebrows, but for your mouth. And then I just play a game of connect the dots. Nice and round. Whee! Look at that. His smile always should have just a little bit of uncertainty. This guy never totally believes in himself. He has a lot of self-doubt. That's kind of one of the themes of the strip. Now for his hair, this is a signature feature you cannot mess up. It's a letter W written cursive style. And I noticed a lot of times when Charles Schulz would draw this little guy, this hair would actually touch these eyebrows. Here's how to draw it. I'm going to start right above the eye. It's a swoop, a loop, and a swoop. Ta-da! Classic Charlie Brown hairdo. Now to finish off the portrait, I'm going to draw his neck underneath here. I never like to have just a head floating there. I think that looks kind of weird, man. Now the neck is just a tube. For us, these are two straight lines, right below the nose. Here and here. Make these straight lines. That's all they are, is straight lines. All the Peanuts characters have this in common. They have a big head and a skinny little neck. Bring that off of there. Now this dude wears a yellow shirt. It's got a zigzag that runs across his belly. Now the collar of the shirt, the opening it, for us is a letter V. Let's close off this open neck with these two lines that come in at an angle. 1, 2. He doesn't wear a t-shirt like his pal Linus does. Now this shirt also has a collar, which is basically two little flaps of cloth that fold down on either side. These are nothing more than two curved lines. I'll do this side here. Bring the line off. And then you just go right on into that collar there. Ta-da! Try to get these a little rumply. These are definitely his play clothes. This is not a starch businessman's shirt by any means. What I'm trying to say is, don't let this thing get sharp and pointy. Hey, wait a minute. We just drew a picture of Charlie Brown. There's one last thing you gotta do, comic strip fans, and that is sign your artwork. You just drew the world's most lovable blockhead. Man, that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Well, I encourage you to keep practicing your sketching. You know, the more you do this, the better you get at it. That was always my favorite thing about art. My first art teacher told me that you can never know enough about art, and he was totally right. I'm still learning new stuff to this day. Well, thanks for drawing with us, and until the next time, stay sketchy.